Hello and welcome once again to Gabbit Media. I'm Grant Ebbett and today you're watching animation number 10, which was Dance. So yeah, it didn't go so well this one. It was really tough. I was over ambitious and ended up with something which was really just a slightly advanced blocking out stage. I didn't really get a chance to get in there and add the follow through and all that sort of thing, or the overflow. Yeah, overflow. So it was frustrating. It was still good fun, but yeah, way too over ambitious. So I would say that's one thing to watch out for with the last four that are quite tricky, like there's superhero, sports and things. Try and keep it simple because to do it in a day was really tough. I usually give myself a morning for these things and it's now 5:30, so I didn't do so well. I think as well I chose a slightly over-ambitious dance as well. I was sort of researching it the other day and thought, oh, that's a really exciting one, I'll give that a go, but it really didn't work. So unfortunately a bit disappointing, but learnt a lot as usual, and I feel like I'm still getting better. I'm getting used to this time I had a reference image which I was sort of copying, and I thought I'd give that a try and then hopefully move on from it with some exaggeration and things, but it just ended up looking very stiff and not really like the original. The original looked really quite cool, and I'll try and remember to put a link in the description to these guys who are doing these dancing. It looks amazing, and I thought, oh, that's really inspiring. I'd love to get that looking good in an animation, but it didn't work, unfortunately. So I think one of the problems was that dance is quite, well, in this case it was quite fast, so the movement is quite juddery and fast. So the blocking out stage, there's just lots of different stages. So there's here, and you think, oh, I'm going to have to block that out. So you've got loads of these keyframes, and you can probably see across my timeline at the moment that whereas I usually sort of keyframe on 10s or something, or 2s or whatever it might be, and then sort the timing out, I was sort of copying from this reference, and I was having to do lots of keyframes all over the place, and I was thinking this is going to be a mammoth task. So again, I would strongly recommend to keep it simple. So this, like I say, took me all day. I had to do a few other jobs, so probably about 4.5 hours solid working, but that would be on the computer time without any breaks. So yeah, watch out for these last four. So the usual blocking out, as you can see here, and yeah, I'm getting more used to it. I chose to use IK for this because in dance the hand sort of stops in places, so the arm sort of stops and you sort of get these movements. I'm probably going off my green screen now and looking stupid as well, but you get these sort of movements like this and up and down, but the hand sort of stays still while the body moves, so IK seemed to make sense for that sort of thing. And obviously IK for the legs because they're planted to the floor and sort of sliding around and things, so that worked quite well. And it would have worked quite nicely, I think, if I'd had time to finish it off. So yeah, frustrations, as you can see in my face perhaps. You probably noticed I've got a weird microphone as well. I'm trying lots of things out. I'm in a smaller room and I'm getting lots of echo on my microphone, so I've got this huge great thing in front of me. Hopefully that's not off-putting. I think it actually generally looks a little bit tidier. I've also got a new chair which I'm going to review. I sent off to some companies, and someone sent me a new chair, so I'm really pleased about that. Free stuff, you know how I love free stuff. The other thing I was trying to do at the end here, back to the animation, is I thought, well, maybe I can get this to loop, and I'd forgotten he'd spun around once, so I tried to sort of keyframe the last frame and maybe get it sort of linking up somehow, and then it all twisted all over the place, and so watch out for that. That's what I found with the somersault as well. I really do wonder how they keyframe, how they loop a somersault, because the body has turned around once. So they must have to sort of animate the root bone going over as well, which is quite interesting. And by doing that, it must look a little bit ugly and quite tough to work. But you know, these animators, brilliant animators out there, do these things and they look perfect. So they don't look ugly at all, they look perfect. And so I wonder how they do that. And that was something, when I was a beginner, I was thinking you've got this big sort of root bone at the bottom that you can move your character around. And you only, well, I'm assuming you only use that for sort of looping cycles. So if you've got a walk cycle that's on the spot, then you move that root bone to move them around the scene. But generally speaking, if you're doing like a film or an animation, a sort of something that's not games, where you use looping cycles and you marry them together, then you don't really use that root bone, as I understand it, and that's what I have sort of gleaned from doing this. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. Anyway, I'm still trying to follow the 12 principles of animation, but I'm not. In this case, I didn't get to that stage, and the 12 principles are mentioned in the Animators Survival Guide, which the links are in the description. Well worthwhile book, which I think most animators would swear by. It's the sort of must-get book, so well worth getting hold of a copy of that. I'll just see quite where I am, so I know when to stop talking. I will review a few, well, I say review, I'll just show a few of your animations later on as well. There seem to be slightly less this time, so maybe it is getting that bit tougher. We're on to excited for you guys. I'm one day ahead to sort of give you some ideas, hopefully, and some inspiration in some way. But yeah, there seems slightly less for excited, but I have got some, there's sort of people that are catching up and things, so I've got some of your animations in there as well. Now you can see I'm into the curve editor, the graph editor here, and sometimes I feel like it's not quite working for me in the graph editor, and I've still got a lot to learn in this particular instance. Quaternion rotations are very difficult to get your head around. And someone mentioned it the other day, the fourth one is sort of the axis to which it's like your local axis, you're moving your local axis, and then all the other ones are dependent on that fourth one, someone said the other day. So I think I understand that, and I think I'm getting the idea, but it's still very tough. So to modify your animations in the graph editor, with your rotations particularly, can be quite tough. Not so bad for movement, and that seems fairly straightforward, as you'd imagine with X, Y and Z. You can see that with dancers, you can probably see me doing sort of copying a frame. It's because they sort of move and they snap, and they snap, and they snap, sort of thing. So in order to do that, you can either, in your graph editor, when it moves to there, you can extend those out by scaling them, so it sort of slowly moves in, slowly moves back, so it looks like there's a bit of a pause, or you just stop it and copy the keyframe a couple of frames so it will snap and snap. So there's a bit of the robot going on in this one. It slightly worked, but I think I could have exaggerated that even more, and that would have been quite fun. I'm kind of looking forward to next year, when I'm better and I can really make the most of these. Hopefully you're getting better as well, and you'll join me next year, aniMAYtion19, and we'll come up with these amazing animations. Perhaps I should give longer for the animations as well, particularly these last few. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you're still watching at this point. I do wonder if people, I know the views for these videos are much less than normal videos, I imagine that it would be that way because more people want to see tutorials and learn stuff than they do watching me fumbling around with animations. But can't remember my point was with this. Oh yeah, but hopefully you're getting something from this if you're following through the animation challenge and enjoying yourself. And remember, there's some good prizes. There's the CG cookie, 3 months worth. I think that's a great prize, and I'm really pleased with them for sponsoring this, and the Sketchfab Pro account as well, which has its advantages, which you can see on their site. It's been very tough, hasn't it, uploading to Sketchfab, and I think 2.8 is getting better at exporting FBX. I did manage to export it the other day. It did glitch a bit when I loaded up into Sketchfab, so there's still issues. Might be the models aren't quite ready for 2.8, and if you've got any lattices or what are they called, shape keys and things like that, they don't come across into Sketchfab. So if you've got a very complex rig, it's not going to sort of translate, as it were. But I think it's still good practice to do those sort of things, because one, you can kind of sell your models on Sketchfab, so it's a good place if you're looking to sort of increase your income, and it's a great portfolio site as well, so you can show people your animations without having to send them a video. You can just send them a link. I know obviously you can send them a link to YouTube, but Sketchfab, you can move around it, which is quite advantageous really. Anyway, I feel like I'm waffling with Sketchfab stuff now. So getting that weight is really tough with dancing as well, because obviously if you've got your leg planted and you've got a leg sticking out somewhere, your weight should be over that side. But you've got to think of the weight and the sort of body mechanics, but you've also got to think of the wind up and the overshoot and all those sort of things as well. And it was tough because obviously I was following a reference, and then I tried to go away from the reference and didn't give myself enough time. But I really would have liked to experiment with that more. And the hands were dreadful because really they needed to sort of snap and close, and there's lots of expression in the hands when you're dancing, so really there should have been loads more for that. I don't know why. Maybe it was a glitch in 2.8, but I figured out how to use the hands properly, and the scale does work, but you can rotate by the local x-axis as well on individual origins. Anyway, that is the final piece. I'm imagining listening to the music, but I can't actually hear it. So here's some of your excited animations. Well done. Some excellent work as always. Some really smart, clever stuff going on as well. Someone posted, I can't remember who it was now, someone posted a really big animation that they'd been working on. It was with a giraffe and things. That was pretty cool. So do post if you're doing some sort of personal work as well, or you've got something that you want to show off, then post it and get some feedback from people on the group. That's great. So this is someone who obviously doesn't understand the idea of the challenge, but wants to get involved. So I'm pleased that you want to get involved. We're doing a challenge, so not sure how that fits in. Maybe you're excited about the motorbike, I'm not sure. But maybe, hopefully I haven't just sort of criticised someone and it's their brilliant excited animation. I thought that was a brilliant somersault. This is a funny one. Hello and welcome to Gabbit Media. I'm Grant Abbott, and today I'm going to be launching the categories for animation. aniMAYtion19. Who wouldn't be excited with a bit of Gabbit Media? Some of the somersaults, I wanted to show a few more of those because they've done some brilliant jobs. It's quite tough to get it smooth and flowing, but some people have done really well. Lord Diego, what is going on here? So she realised she's pregnant, and then 2 seconds later she's sort of like 8 months pregnant. Crazy stuff. Slightly scary. There we go. I'm assuming we're going forward in time at this point. I quite like that zoom in to the positive thing. It's pretty cool actually. Yeah, well done. It's some funny work there. Some people have come up with some funny ideas. I like it. So I showed quite a lot of that one, I think, didn't I? Yep. Oh, the excited dog. That is quite random, isn't it? My dog starting to bark when the excited dog came on. So I think that is quite clever. Brilliant stuff. Again, I keep forgetting your name. And whose birthday was it? Oh, this annoys me. I'm forgetting everything. I'm really quite bad with names on the groups. I think it must be my dyslexia. I always blame things on my dyslexia, but reading names, if I hear names I'm alright, but if I read them then they don't stay. Happy birthday for yesterday, I think it was. And this sort of crazy birthday animation with excitement makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? I like it. More excited stuff. Mark Herman always does some great work. This one's really good. The jackpot. And this casino in the background. Nice idea. Clever. Yeah. And of course, Kevin. Brilliant work as always. Yeah, really, I do feel like getting better each time with your animations. They just look really brilliant and great. Lovely job, as always. And I think that's the last one. Yes, it is. Here's my dancing back again. A bit disappointing after seeing your work, but really well done. And it's probably enough from me. Yeah, I think happy animating, and I will see you next time.